I'm going to tell you a bit about what we do and some of the stuff, more importantly, that humanitarian agencies and others have been doing with Frontline across the world. So we are 7 years old now as a platform, incredibly. We're 5 years old as an organisation. And we're based here in Nairobi. We have an office in the iHub building. It's a bit of a zoo, but I love it. This photo was taken 5 months ago at the launch, the day we launched Frontline SMS version 2. It was an interesting day. We've had 35,000 downloads of our free open source platform since we launched it in 2005. 10,000 of those are since that day. So in 5 months we've had more downloads in the first 5 years, and I think that's a testament to how people are looking to use SMS and use the communications platforms that people are already using to get their message across, to interact with people and to organise. We have an office in Washington DC, we have an office in London, and our largest office is here in Nairobi. I'm proud to say that version 2 of Frontline SMS is entirely made in Kenya. So Frontline SMS was envisioned originally as a way to enable people to organise, community organisations to do their work in places that are dark in this picture that you can't see very well. The places that are dark, this is a picture of the world from space at night, and the places that are dark don't have much electricity at night, and it's fair to bet that they don't have much infrastructure either. So internet access is probably not wired, it's probably wireless, and we've heard already today that most internet access is now via mobile here in Africa. So one of the things that makes then mobile so powerful is that SMS in particular works where there's very little infrastructure. It works where the network signal is very low. It's asynchronous, so the message doesn't have to go through it once to be successful. You can get a message on your phone and read it an hour later. And that's very powerful. You can get a message to your phone delivered if your phone is out of range when you come back into range. So I've heard of communities who have a phone in a plastic bag up a tree on a hill because occasionally there's a signal and someone will go up the hill every day to check. So it makes it very powerful in places where infrastructure is not there. And what we thought was, if you could put SMS in the hands of community organisations as a professionalised, easy-to-use tool for organising, then you could let them change their world for the better. And that's just what we've seen. Some examples to start from a larger organisation's perspective. The International Organisation for Migration, the IOM, was working in Pakistan in response to the violent conflict about 4 years ago in the northwestern frontier province of Pakistan, just on the border with Afghanistan. And they were communicating with returnees to tell them, it's safe to go home, this is what you'll get if you go home. They had a partnership with a major mobile phone operator who gave them the SMS for free because it was a major thing for Pakistan, and for the operator, they got some really good corporate social responsibility PR out of it. It was a great program. Interestingly, a couple of years later, they had to change their approach when there were floods in the south of Pakistan. Because although in the north people text a lot, in the south, the script that's used for the local dialect doesn't work on most handsets. So nobody texted. The bundles weren't built for it, nobody knew where it was on the phone. I don't know if you've ever tried to find text messaging on a Motorola mobile phone, but it's not easy. And these were things that people hadn't really thought of. So the humanitarian agencies had to change their approach away from SMS. To me, the lesson from this one is you have to look at the context. Context is king. You have to look at where people are and the platforms people are already using, and then tailor your communications to that. This particular case study is up later, so I'm not going to say too much about it, except to say that we are very proud of it, and it's won an innovation award. And it's an example of where InfoAid helped ActionAid to run a pilot of using Frontline SMS for community communications. And what happened was the staff were looking at the tool and said, you know what, if I can use this to engage with communities, then I can totally use this to get my boring monitoring and evaluation report done. And they will have actually very significant organisational efficiency savings and capacity building as a result of using the tool, which is a fantastic outcome. Frontline SMS is also used a lot in radio stations. We have a specialist Frontline SMS radio project, and in Africa, radio is still the killer app, but it's one-to-many. So if you can add SMS in there, it makes it interactive, so people can text in questions, they can text in comments. For the radio stations themselves, it can be an income generation opportunity as they run competitions, and you sort of send in a text to a premium line to have the text read out on air, that kind of thing. So it's been a very fruitful partnership. We have a tailored version of the software, which is being trialled in many radio stations at the moment. I guess one soapbox that I don't ever really get off though, after 3 years now of working with Frontline and talking to humanitarians about it, is that I see a lot of this used by the big international agencies. And what I'd really, in my heart of hearts, love to see is the big international responders working with their local partners and working with local national societies and putting technology like Frontline SMS in their hands so that they can use it in their everyday work. There are so many disasters and emergencies that don't hit the news, that are small sort of flooding, rivers bursting their banks, ongoing chronic drought, and the responders to these emergencies are local. They are local church groups, they are your national society, the Red Cross. And it would be great to start to see some of these tools put in the hands of these responders as organisational effectiveness, capacity building, to raise efficiency, to manage your volunteers and your staff and your management information. It's not very sexy, but I think we can see some real gains in that regard. So, just a word on the options that are coming up. This is going to be a big year for Frontline SMS next year. We are currently a desktop application, so we run it on the laptop. I've got it with me if anyone wants a demo later. It's now a browser-based app, so you can run it over your local network. And next year, we're going to be putting a version of Frontline SMS in the cloud that we will be hosting. So you can just sign into it from anywhere in the world, like into your Gmail, and use Frontline SMS. Frontline SMS works with a modem, and it works with web SMS connections to bulk SMS providers. So you can send messages at a local level, or many more messages at scale. Next year, we'll be adding support for an Android phone as a gateway. So basically what we try to do at Frontline SMS is look at your situation, your context, how many messages you need to send and to whom, and figure out what the best combination of technical approaches will work for you. What I'm learning being here in Kenya is that it is a technical issue. The mobile market is not straightforward, and a lot of what we do is to help you figure out how to use SMS most powerfully, given all the constraints that you have with budget and time and all the rest of it. Just a very quick word in closing to say, we also have our sector-specific projects. I mentioned radio, which is one of the most vibrant projects that we have, dearly beloved by its users. Frontline SMS Credit works to help you move value using SMS. So that might be mobile money. It works with M-Pesa here in Kenya. It could also be airtime top-ups, or it could be voucher codes. Learn and Legal work to expand education beyond the classroom and legal service provision beyond the regional centres where it usually gets stuck. And Frontline SMS Medic, you'll hear from Medic Mobile later on, who are our partner organisation from way back. Frontline SMS Medic works to improve use of SMS and use of Frontline SMS in health contexts. So all in all, what we're really about, and in our 7th year we're kind of figuring out that this is definitely still what we're about, is putting these tools in your hands and helping you figure out how to use it. We've never monitored an election, we've never responded to a humanitarian disaster, but our users have, and they do every day. And what we're about really is enabling you to do that using SMS and leveraging perhaps the most widespread ever digital communications platform to help you do more and reach further and do better. Thanks everybody.